Good evening and welcome to the November 19th, 2025 South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners meeting. I will call this meeting to order. We have all commissioners present this evening. At this time, I would ask you to all please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item 3, announcements. All public sessions of the South Whitehall Township Board of Commissioners are electronically recorded, filed, and posted to the Township website for public access. Ask our Township Manager, Tom Petrucci, to please review our public virtual meeting rules.
Thank you. The public virtual meeting rules are as follows. Courtesy of the floor for non-agenda items will be at the beginning and end of the agenda. Public comment will be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. For all listed agenda items, the board president will call for courtesy of the floor prior to the Board of Commissioners taking action on that specific agenda item. For in-person attendees, please raise your hand to be recognized, then move to the podium when directed. You will be asked to state your name and address for the record and may then proceed with asking your question. For those participating virtually, please mute your microphone or telephone to avoid any background noise that may cause interference during the meeting. The chat box feature will be active throughout the meeting. If you have a comment or question, please type your full name and address into the chat box. The staff member monitoring GoToMeeting will then unmute your microphone and you will have the opportunity to comment or ask a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. The Board of Commissioners met in executive session prior to tonight's meeting to discuss legal and personnel matters. Agenda item 4 is courtesy of the floor. This is opportunity for any member of the public to address the board on a non-agenda item. Is there anyone present with a comment for the board? Is there anyone online with a public comment? Very good. Agenda item 5 is presentations. Tonight we have the honor of the badge pinning of officers James Myers, Brandon McGinnis, and Samantha Janner, and I will turn it over to Chief Lombardo.
Good evening, everybody. Today's a good day for the department as we acquire 3 more officers. But first, before I do that, I want to thank the Board of Commissioners and the manager for your continued support, because without all of you, we couldn't hire these people. I also want to thank the recruiting committee. Many of you are here, who did an outstanding job in a very competitive environment. This hiring cycle, we had more applicants who selected only South Whitehall than ever before. This has made me a fan favorite with the surrounding chiefs, I'll tell you that. But getting you here for the interviews is just the start of it. The way our officers all embraced you and welcomed you, portrayed the best of who we are. I can say with certainty that you made the right choice, as I made the same thing just a few months ago, because this culture of family, the command staff and the officers built. In fact, each one of you included family as a significant reason for choosing South Whitehall. In a conversation with one of you, I related, that's the idea, bring you closer to your family while you can work with ours. My expectations of you, you've read them all in Power DMS. I'm sure that was one of 300 things that you guys read, but I'll give you just a brief thing. Based on 3 things: take care of the community, take care of the agency, and take care of each other. Taking care of the community. Before the public, our appearance and demeanor should create an image of professionalism, effectiveness, and friendliness. Citizens should be treated with respect and courtesy. It is expected that you'll go to the extra mile in your interactions with our citizens, and our officers do it every day. You've seen it since you've been working here. It is simply the golden rule, treating people how you want to be treated, because in every citizen contact, we represent ourselves, the agency, and policing as a whole. Each one of us is a role model and should lead by example, and you all were in your respective police departments. I can see that already. While we cannot remedy every complaint, we can meet our residents, listen to their concerns, and keep them informed. So the command staff and I expect that you will do so. Taking care of the agency, every one of you is a leader. I've seen that already, and you can lead, and I'll expect you to do that. Regardless of your time on the job, taking that moment to have a, hey, wait a minute conversation with a fellow officer and avoid things upstream can really help out the department. And you know what those are. You know those words or those actions right before things might go south. Even though you don't have to be a supervisor to say, hey, this is about to go bad, stop it. And take care of each other. And yourselves. Something that I talked about all the officers was it's expected that you'll wear your seatbelt and operate your vehicles at a prudent and reasonable speed. And this is because as the Honor Guard commander in my old agency, we buried way too many officers just from the way they drive. According to FBI statistics for line of duty deaths, the leading cause of accidental officer deaths in 2024 was motor vehicle accidents. So it's not a surprise that we're going to watch that carefully. Also, when you hear your fellow officers out on assignment, start moving that way, stop by to check in on them. Command staff and I do it regularly and expect you to do the same. In fact, on the day I took you guys all out to lunch, you had to wait for me to clear motor vehicle stop to take you out to lunch. I heard you guys heard that on the radio. I was out there today. It's just, you can only do so much in the office and paperwork wise. So after 2-3 hours of that, what makes sense to me is being a cop. And I still like doing it. I was doing it today. To the families, you're now part of our family. Admittedly, this job can at times be dangerous, and I can't promise absolute safety for your loved one, but what I can promise is the best training, equipment, supervision, and leadership that we can provide. And the leadership team in the back has proven again and again that they've prepared our officers well for whatever the outcome might be. We've seen it in my short time here that training and supervision and leadership makes a big difference in these outcomes. In conclusion, while I am the chief, I'm the cop first and foremost. Like I said before, I'll always view the job through the eyes of the cop on the street. I guess it's because I was stuck as a patrolman for 15 years, but whatever it was, I went on a lot of calls. When it comes to discipline issues, that's where it really kind of surfaces itself more than others. We, the command staff, and I will always treat honest mistakes and intentional misconduct very differently. There's a difference to that. Mistake of the head, mistake of the heart. So we'll give you that grace that you need, but we will hold you accountable. But there's got to be a path to redemption. There has to be, our purpose here is not to break you down, but to build you up and put you on a path. And you've seen us do that with people around you. We'll work with you to correct unintentional errors and help you fix errors to ensure your success. I welcome all of you to our police family, and that you guys know that when it comes to our family, my door is always open. So, and you've seen it. It's literally physically open all day long. All right, we're going to do this one at a time. James, come on up. I'll read a little background about James. The first officer we're pinning tonight, James Myers, graduated from the SS Seaward Institution in 2013. He then served in the U.S. Marine Corps for 4 years, followed by 3 years of service in the U.S. Army as an infantry mortarman. He also attended the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy in 2022 in preparation for the South Carolina Highway Patrol, where he served for 3 years. So you've been, what, to 2 or 3 different academies already? Yeah, thank goodness you didn't have to do this one. He achieved the rank of Trooper First Class with South Carolina Highway Patrol. And Officer Myers joined law enforcement to protect and serve his community, and he chose us for the camaraderie and professionalism displayed by our officers during the recruitment process. Family member come up that's going to do the pinning. They were already sworn in, so everybody knows this is just a ceremonial thing for them. I'm going to get my phone. Can one of you take a picture of us? Okay.
No, just-
All right, try that again. The next, Brandon McGinnis.
He's a Giants fan.
Yes. I waited some time to put on a Mets shirt was when I got here, and the first time I did, Detective Daugherty was like, wait, did I see you with a Mets shirt? All right, the next, Brandon McGinnis graduated from the Hazleton Area High School in 2015. He later attended Temple University, Luzerne County Community College, where he studied criminal justice. He was in the U.S. Army Reserve for 8 years, then attended the Lackawanna College Police Academy in 2018. He served 8 years in the Hazleton Police Department, and we poached him now, where he was a K-9 officer. He joined law enforcement to be a part of something bigger and chose our department for the command structure and discipline similar to the military. He's number 16 now out of 43 officers that have military experience, so we're over 30% have military background, and I've certainly capitalized on that. They're natural leaders, and they just know what it is to be part of a department. So, family member want to come up for the pinning? You should know how to do this, Samantha. So obviously they know each other. So I will say during the hiring process, we did have a couple conversations. What if we have to hire one and the other one doesn't make it? It worked out just fine. All right, Samantha, come on up. This is Samantha Jenner. She graduated from Panther Valley High School in 2015, where she, and I asked her if I could say this, played varsity football as a cornerback. Unique. Yeah. She attended the Lackawanna Police Academy in 2023 and became a police officer with the Nescahoning Police Department. She joined law enforcement to live out her purpose to help those in need, stand up for what's right, and be a source of strength and compassion in the community. She chose our department for our dedication to excellence, community engagement, and officer development. So congratulations. I should have just left you up here. You knew it was going to be you. It wasn't a surprise. Can I just get a picture with everybody, and then we'll let you guys finish your meeting. Come on up, everybody. Everybody wearing blue. Love picture.
I don't know. Are we going? No, we're not. No, we're not going. Just stay here. I'm staying here. No, we're good.
Are you sure?
Mhm. We're gonna hide. We're good. I'm doing the same. Congratulations and welcome. Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations and welcome.
Thank you. Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You don't have to feel obligated to stay. I didn't mean the budget, Tricia. My apologies, seriously. It was not aimed at you. I meant the meeting.
Moving on to agenda item 5B, we have the second reading of the 2026 proposed budget. I'll ask Director of Finance, Tricia Dickert, to please move.
Good evening, commissioners. So we've been through a bit of a marathon. You know, we did the budget workshop in October. We did the first reading 2 weeks ago. I tried to cut out some of my words to make it a little bit less lengthy tonight. So we'll see if we can plow through and hopefully not put anybody to sleep this year as I did last year. So following the budget workshop meeting on October 30th and the first reading of the proposed budget on November 5th, Tonight, we'll focus on a fund summary for the second reading of the 2026 proposed budget. I'll go through all of the funds individually, and then we'll just take some time and opportunity after I've gone through all the funds to see if anybody has any questions during the second reading. So for the general fund, South Whitehall Township is projecting $21.91 million in revenues for 2026. That's an increase of 4.96% from 2025, with budgeted expenditures matching that at $21.91 million, which is an increase of 1.66% from 2025. So the exact figures on the revenue and expense side, $21,917,110.41. This puts our fund balance policy at $13.35 million as of the end of 2025, keeping in mind that the fund balance policy itself sets a requirement that the balance be between 20 and 30% of yearly general fund revenues. At the end of 2025, we expect that to be approximately 60%. As of September 30th, 2025, we're forecasting the 2025 cash carry forward to be approximately $4,187,809.87. The 2026 proposed budget includes the use of fiscal stability monies in the amount of $872,578, and that's to make the 2026 general fund portion of the 2021 general obligation bond payment. The use of those funds will still leave us above the recommended percentage in the fund balance policy. For the fire fund, South Whitehall Township is projecting $2.88 million in revenues for the year 2026, which is an increase of 112% over the year 2025. Budgeted expenditures are anticipated to decrease by about 1.6% at $1.14 million. So the figures there would be revenues at $2,886,000, expenses at $1,141,000, leaving us with a surplus of $1,745,000. We're forecasting the 2025 cash carry forward to be approximately $832,000. In 2025, the Pennsylvania DCED conducted a fire apparatus analysis on the township's existing fire fleet. The findings in that report indicate that over the next 10 years, we will need a series of major apparatus replacements. It's for this reason the proposed 2026 budget allows for a fire tax millage increase from 0.47 mils to 0.75 mils. This increase will allow us to manage those apparatus needs through the year 2035. The water fund, as of September 30th, 2025, is forecasting a 2025 cash carry forward of $1,814,533.56. We are projecting revenues for 2026 at $10.83 million, which is a 16.9% decrease over the year 2025. And budgeted expenditures are expected to increase by about 16%, or $12.57 million. So the numbers for water are revenue in the amount of $10,837,535, allocation in the amount of $1,790,000, expenses of $12,577,535, leaving us with a surplus of $50,000. This puts our fund balance at the end of 2025 at approximately $9 million, which is greater than the $5 million that's required under the fund balance policy for water. Just making note that LCA is raising the water rates on the township by 4.55% for 2026, but at this time, the 2026 proposed budget does not pass any increase on to township residents. For the sewer fund, as of September 30, 2025, we're forecasting a cash carry forward in the amount of $1,488,104.11. The township is projecting $4.62 million in revenues for 2026, which is an increase of 18.8% over the year 2025. Budgeted expenditures are projected to be $4.62 million, which is also an increase of 18.8% from the current fiscal year. The actual numbers for revenues and expenses matching at $4,628,543, leaving us with no surplus, no deficit in the sewer fund. Our fund balance policy at the end of 2025 for sewer will be approximately $5.95 million, which is less than the $10 million required under the sewer fund balance policy. So just keeping in mind that that fund balance policy was set at $10 million as a way to plan for the Kleins Island expansion. There are several components that are involved when assessing the rate increase that LCA is bestowing on the township. For 2026, we expect that to be the equivalent of approximately 5.5%. There is a 4% proposed sewer rate increase being passed on to the township residents in 2026. And again, that's based on the sewer rate study that was completed in 2024. Keeping in mind, while our effective rate increase will still be slightly higher than what we're passing on to township residents. Just to kind of explain what those figures are as it relates to 4%, the sewer flat rate per EDU would go from $91 per quarter to $94.64. The sewer metered cost would go from $4.98 per 1,000 gallons to $5.17 per 1,000 gallon. And the sewer base charge would go from $36 per quarter to $38 per quarter. For the refuse fund, the 2025 cash carry forward is expected to be $1,658,583.47. We're projecting $5.17 million in revenues for 2026, which is an increase of about 1.56% over the year 2025, and budgeted expenditures are projected to be approximately $4.75 million. That's an increase of 2.21% from the current year. That leaves us at revenues for $5,174,710, expenses at $4,753,990, with a small surplus, small is relative, of $420,719. This puts our fund balance at approximately $1,658,583.47 at the end of 2025, which exceeds the amount required under the refuse fund balance policy by approximately $602,000. There's no refuse rate increase being passed on to township residents for 2026. And just the general reminder that I feel like I say every time I'm sitting at this table talking about refuse, the way the 5-year contract was structured was to try to maintain that rate over the course of 5 years. So again, broken record, you'll see the surplus in the first half of that 5-year contract. And then as we exit the second half of that contract, you'll see those numbers starting to level out. The low income senior refuse discount, we talked about that during the budget workshop. So we have decided to increase the income threshold for the low income senior discount. We recently saw that the Social Security Administration is increasing Social Security benefits by 2.8%. And the discussion that we had coming out of the budget workshop was that we were going to not just match that Social Security increase, we were going to do 2.2% more at an even 5%. So the numbers, which will be on the application, take the single applicant from $35,175 to a threshold of $36,935, and married from $43,575 to an income threshold of $45,755. The open space fund for 2026, we're projecting revenues of roughly $49,000, which is an 8.72% increase over the current year, and there are no budgeted expenditures for the calendar year 2026. So those numbers are super easy, right? It's revenue 49,613.75, zero expenses, so surplus would match the revenues. As of September 30, 2025, we're forecasting the 2025 cash carry forward to be $244,895 with 37 cents. Land acquisition fund, this has been quite a roller coaster. Thanks, Chris. On November 4th, 2025, Township residents voted yes on a referendum question that would increase the earned income tax by 0.1%. The use of those funds would be restricted to the preservation of open space for the township. For 2026, we're projecting $900,000 in revenues and $350,000 in expenses. Please note, because this is a new initiative, we are funding general government expenses by that $350,000 just in case the township is presented with a land preservation opportunity in the year 2026. By setting that money aside, we feel like that puts us in a position to have the available funds that would be associated with any bond issuance or any first year payment. So the numbers again on the land acquisition fund would be $900,000 in revenue, $350,000 in expenses. The difference would be the surplus of $550,000. ARPA, the township currently has $1,094,085.42 remaining in ARPA funds. Of that amount, $12,800 is what remains to be paid on the PD radio maintenance plan, and the remaining balance is what's being held to pay for the existing aerial truck that's reached the end of its useful life that serves the entire township. The interest that's been received on that ARPA money has also been earmarked to help cover any of the additional costs associated with that truck. The original cost allocation was set aside in 2023, and we're expecting to receive that piece of apparatus equipment in 2026. So I know we're all really excited about that. State highway aid for 2026, we're projecting $706.5 thousand in revenues, which is a slight decrease over the year 2025, a decrease of about 1.68%. Budgeted expenditures are projected to be $706,000, which is an increase of 4.38% from the current year. So that's revenues and expenses both at $706,550 with 64 cents. The 2025 cash carry forward should be approximately, as of September 30th, was approximately $481,455.43. For debt service, the total debt payments for 2026 will be $1,138,580.30. Breaking down those debt payments are as follows. The 2021 general obligation bond, the total water fund payment would be $187,521, and the total general fund portion of that obligation bond payment would be $872,578. So new for 2026 is also the radio bond payment, keeping in mind that that's money that will be paid to the county with no interest. So I'm just going to go over the three amounts, how those totals shake out between the fire stations, Cetroni ambulance, and emergency management. So the three fire stations, the principal payment would be $161,657.63. Cetroni ambulance, the principal payment would be $91,978.04, noting that that's a reimbursable from Cetroni ambulance. And emergency management's principal payment would be $12,366.63. For capital fund, we submitted $4,583,625 worth of 2026 capital requests for you all to consider. I'm going to talk about capital carry forward because there are always a lot of moving pieces on how those capital requests get funded. So when capital requests are submitted, the funding sources come from several places. Could be grants, could be interfund transfers, could be capital cash carry forward from years prior. So we'll just go, we'll go on and talk about what those exact dollar for dollar sources would be for 2026. In grant revenue, it would be $2,206,330.31. There's $96,475 from an LCCD grant for the bioswale. That first payment was received already in September of 25. $1,491,125.76 would be an interfund transfer from the general fund. And $789,694.68 is the forecasted 2025 cash carry forward from capital. Lastly, fiscal stability. The fund balance as of September 30, 2025 is $14,169,816.24. Of that total, $5 million is still general fund money earning interest, and $4 million was recently deposited into a 12-month CD with an APY of 4%. The 2026 interfund transfer from the Fiscal Stability Fund to the general fund to make the general fund portion of the 2021 general obligation bond payment. Again, that figure is $872,578. Those are all the funds to go over in the 2026 proposed budget. And I'm tired of hearing myself talk. So if anybody has any questions about any of them, now's a good time. And I believe Donna and Kristen are both online if anyone has any questions.
Tricia, thank you for preparing this very concise budget book outline for presentation for second reading tonight. And thank you, Kristen, Donna, and team, and all employees and administration for your diligent work on the budget this year. I'll open it up to the board if there are any questions on this second reading. I know we had a lot of discussion at the last meeting. So is there any additional comment anyone would have?
You said it very well. Thank you. You're going to get tired of hearing me say that. I also want to call attention to the fire apparatus study. I hope all residents take time to take a look at it. It is agenda item 8B on tonight's agenda, and we also had discussed it at our September 17th, 2025 meeting. That would be on page 131 of that meeting. But I think it's important that our residents take a look, see our needs, and see how this would cover us through the year 2035. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just have one comment. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record, and I'll save most of my substantive comments for final adoption of the budget. But I was looking back through my notes the other day, and this is the 6th budget cycle that I've observed in the township, and it has by far been the most seamless and professional. So really to you and the whole team and all the department heads, I just can't thank you enough comparatively where this process used to be and where it is now. It's all credit to you and the staff. And then I did have a question because I could not find it in my notes. When in 2026 are we expecting the aerial replacement to come in?
Late 26. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. They're going to make us wait till the very last minute to get our hands on that shiny new apparatus.
I will take this opportunity to state that we must spend the ARPA funds by December 31st of 2026. So if we run into a scenario where which we hope not to, but if we do, we will have to prepay that payment by December 31st. And at that point, the build will be almost primarily completed either way, but just wanted to make sure everyone understands that to be compliant with ARPA.
Excellent, excellent, Tom. Thank you for that reminder. Tricia, again, thank you. And to the public, the budget is posted to the Township website where we put all pertinent information for the community. I encourage all to take a look at it. It's a lot of information, very well done, very well laid out and understandable and concise. So thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Very good. Moving on to agenda item 6, meeting minutes from the November 5th Board of Commissioners meeting. If there are no comments or corrections, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 7, ordinances. We have an ordinance imposing an additional earned income tax for township residents at the rate of 1/10 of 1%. 0.1% under the authority of the Local Tax Enabling Act and Open Space Lands Acquisition and Preservation Act, which shall amend the South Whitehall Township Code, Chapter 328, Taxation, Article 5, Earned Income and Net Profits Tax, Section 328-33, Imposition of Tax, to reflect the additional tax, a further providing for the following additional clauses: repealer, severability, failure to enforce, not a waiver, and effective date. And Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. So as Tricia Dickert reported earlier this evening, the township electors on November 4th approved the referendum to impose the additional 0.1% earned income tax for open space preservation. So the percentage was overwhelmingly in favor in the vote. It was 73.8% of the electorate. Knowing that that was a possibility, the township staff, primarily led by Director of Legal Affairs Jennifer Aldifer, prepared the ordinance that was necessary to enact this EIT and to amend Chapter 328 Taxation, Article 5. So we are now ready to move forward immediately and make sure that we're compliant. So we need to advertise a public notice 3 consecutive weeks in accordance with both the First Class Township Code and the Local Tax Enabling Act, so that we can stay on target to have this this tax in place, which you have to notify the state to be compliant in order to be on the official tax register. So we're doing everything we can in a very timely manner to ensure that we meet all the deadlines and we legally enact this tax in the way it's meant and required to be enacted. So thank you to staff, Chris Stroller, Tricia Dickert, Kristen Blahnik, everyone, Jennifer Aldifer especially for really stepping up and making sure this was prepared in time, assuming with knowing that there was a possibility that it would be successfully adopted.
Excellent, Tom. Thank you. And again, thank you, Tom, and the team for all the support to bring this to fruition today. I want to especially thank Attorney Aldifer for preparing the draft ordinance, and to all the staff for organizing all the many workshops and collaborative work to engage our community over these last several years to get to this point. Very grateful for all the residents who attended the workshops and shared their feedback as we work to develop a plan to balance growth and preservation here, something we've never done. I want to thank the voters who supported the open space referendum. Your commitment to preserving and enhancing our community's natural areas is deeply appreciated, and this has truly been a community effort. We are very grateful for our residents' time and engagement and for sharing your vision for the future of South Whitehall. I am very, very grateful that we are going to move forward with this ordinance tonight and for the vote of 73% by our community. So thank you. Are there any comments from the board?
I will just add to that. I know I had brought this up in some of the conversations I had with staff over the past week or so, but at 73.8%, there's roughly a 21-year history in the Lehigh Valley of municipalities putting such open space preservation initiatives on the ballot. 73.8% is the highest percentage of a yes vote that has ever been given by the voters of a municipality in favor of the township, of any township adopting us. They tend to be in the mid 50s to upper 50s. It's exceedingly rare to have a municipality vote for something like this with almost 3/4 of the residents in favor of it. And particularly in tough economic times, even though the EIT increase has a minimal impact on individuals, it's still a big ask to ask residents to essentially impose a tax on themselves for this purpose. But I really do want to thank all the residents that came out and supported this. And it's been a long time coming. I was having flashbacks as I was looking through our agenda tonight to almost going on 6 years now of when there was the public workshops were being held down at Springhouse Middle School in 2020, and they rolled out the big maps of the township for the community, and a bunch of us sat around with Dave Manhart and other community members putting these small sticky dots on the map to indicate, where we'd like to see our township grow, where we'd like to see certain parts of our township be preserved, and to go from a very simple exercise, purely conceptual, of where we'd like to see, this township move to now taking the final step to start raising these funds. Time flies, but it's an extraordinary accomplishment. The credit really goes to the staff for poking and prodding this along. I know Dave Manhart isn't here tonight, but it is great to see a plan turn into action. I know we oftentimes get on Dave and Chris's case about being planners, but it's great to be a doer too. And both Dave and Chris are really excellent at all that they do, and their work to make this happen cannot go unrecognized. So Chris, thank you to Dave and to everyone.
Well said, Commissioner Roth. Well said. Sometimes in order to fully appreciate where we are, we have to look back to where we were. So I want to thank all the residents who came out, all the residents who, as long as I've been involved, 2017, all those residents who came out to the comp plans, to the landscape plan, to those workshops at Springhouse, Jacob, it was just a real big community effort, a grand community effort. It finally came to fruition. I'm so grateful to you, to Dave, and we heard you, we heard the residents, and here we are. And I'm so looking forward to the great things ahead. So thank you.
I would just add one thing, and I know we're giving a lot of congratulations to Dave and Chris, but we're not taking our foot off the gas pedal on this one. Now there's no excuse to really get more done. So in the new year, get ready because we'll be on you for it.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Any other board comments? Is there any public comment before we take a vote? Is there anyone online with a public comment on this ordinance?
This one first, and then I'll bring. Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So hearing and seeing there are no comments, do I have a motion granting permission to proceed with advertising of said ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. Yes, you weren't taking official action on the budget tonight, but there was a public question. So
Okay. Of course.
Yeah. So is he going to ask his question in the chat or go online? I'm not sure.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yes, we can hear you.
Brian Height, 1273 Eck Road. I apologize if this isn't the right opportunity to ask a question on the budget, but for the fire tax increase, I'm all for that. I know that I'm aware of the challenges, not just in South Whitehall, but across the Lehigh Valley. However, looking at the budget online, I saw that the Tri-Clover Fire Department was mentioned once and that they receive a stipend with no amount attached to it. And so my question is will that stipend be increased proportionate to what the tax increase will be for the fire? Thank you.
So the amount of that stipend is $25,000. And no, the budget does not provide for a incremental increase to account or a proportionate increase in accordance with the fire tax increase. That's always been a flat amount. It does proportionally increase the amounts to each of the three other departments that serve the township. So that would be Greenwald's, Woodlawn, and Citronia.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Agenda item 7B, we have an ordinance amending the codified ordinances of South Whitehall Township to add a new chapter 185 entitled Grading, establishing regulations and standards to govern and regulate the grading of land, the alteration of drainage, the maintenance of drainage necessary to control soil erosion, the issuance of grading permits, providing for the enforcement thereof and penalties in the event of violation, severability, failure to enforce not a waiver, and an effective date. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. This is something that township staff has been considering and is presenting to the board for the first time this evening. But the grading ordinance before you represents an enhancement of the township's land development regulatory framework by introducing clear enforceable standards for earth disturbance and site grading activities across the township. So just to summarize some of the key provisions, we would establish a new chapter 185 entitled Grading. So it would govern the modification of natural terrain, drainage alteration, and erosion control in accordance with state and county conservation regulations. Regulated activities would include permits for grading, excavation, or vegetation removal affecting drainage or soil stability, with exemptions for minor residential, agricultural, and public utility work. There's a permitting process that would need to be filed in accordance with plan requirements as well that are delineated in the ordinance. The plans would be reviewed by the township engineer prior to permit issuance. Inspections would specify first floor elevation and final grading inspections to ensure compliance with approved plans. And there's also enforcement penalties and standard liability language. So if the board is so inclined, I would seek a motion to move forward with advertising this ordinance.
Very good, Tom. Are there any questions from the board? Is there any public comment? Is there anyone online with a comment? Do I have a motion granting permission to proceed with advertising of said ordinance? Second. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Resolutions, agenda item 8A, we have a resolution appointing independent auditor to serve as township auditor and conduct the financial audit for the fiscal year 2025. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. So under the requirements of the first class township code, the township has the ability to appoint an independent auditor in lieu of providing for the election of 3 auditors. So the first class township code requires that you at least 30 days prior to the close of the fiscal year appoint an independent auditor to serve as the township auditor, which auditor shall, in addition to other duties assigned to them by the commissioners, make an independent examination of all accounts and accounting records of the township for the fiscal year then closing. So as we go through this budget cycle, 2025 years closing out, we now need to start the auditing process in early 26. So Herbine has been the township auditor now for the last several audits. They have since been acquired, I believe is the correct term, by Cherry Baccarat. But their structure will not change and their pricing model will not change for the township. So the budget provides for a total of up to $47,000 for all the accounting auditing services in general fund line item 40311, and then $12,000 each in both the water and sewer fund. I will note going forward, the auditing cost should be lowered slightly since the authority is now completely dissolved. But for this year, we have an engagement letter from Herbine, and I would seek to confirm the financial allocation.
Tom, thank you. I just had a question as I reviewed this information. Will the same representatives from Herbine that have worked with the township on audits over these last few years?
Yes, we specifically asked that due to the level of knowledge and expertise of our current staff professionals that we work with. So yes, that is confirmed.
Excellent, very good. Does the board have any comments or questions or any public comment? Hearing and seeing none, do I have a motion to adopt said resolution?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 8B, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of South Whitehall Township to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development 2025 Pennsylvania Gaming Local Share Account Statewide Grant Program to provide funding to be used for the replacement of fire apparatus. Tom, if you'd please present.
Thank you. So as alluded to earlier this evening, the township needs to ensure that it's replacing its apparatus in accordance with best practices and recommendations set forth in the DCED apparatus study that was completed earlier this year. There are 2 local share account gaming grants that are offered by the state. One is the Lehigh County and Northampton Counties program, and one is the statewide program. The township submitted a $1 million grant request earlier this year for the Lehigh County and Northampton Counties program, and it is recommended that we submit a companion request for the statewide program. So we've been working with our local elected officials, and that is the approach that they recommend as well. And we've already obtained support letters from said elected officials across each of the districts. So I would seek a motion to approve this resolution to allow us to submit the grant by the deadline of the end of this month.
Excellent, Tom. Thank you. And thank you and staff for continuing to seek grant funding to assist the township with our purchases. Does the board have any comments or questions on this resolution? Public comment? Seeing none, do we have a motion to adopt said resolution?
Motion.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 8C, we have a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the Township of South Whitehall, Lehigh County, approving and authorizing execution of a farm lease with Joel Newhard, TA Newhard Farms, for the use of township property located at 1036 Springhouse Road, and terminating the prior lease dated February 23rd, 2022. Tom, if you'd present.
Thank you. So since February 23rd of 2022, the township has leased the Davis Smith property to Newhard Farms for agricultural operations. So the Board of Commissioners have provided direction to staff to prepare a 2026 new lease for the farming activities to lower the lease amount down to $1 a year. So this lease agreement before you accomplishes that, as well as just administratively cleans up a couple of other items. The tenant has been updated to Joel Newhard of Newhard Farms. It's the exact same premises description, and it also provides a more robust definition of agri-tainment, so that both parties know what that word means. Essentially, was not defined in the previous agreement, and that's a subjective term, agri-tainment. It also continues the township right to develop certain public facilities, which it's identified in there, as well as in the deed for a dog park and a walking path. Of course, there's no plans to do that at this point, but this retains the right. And that is pretty much it. So I'd seek a motion to approve that resolution. The tenant, Joel Newhard, and all parties of Newhard Farms have signed off on it already.
Fantastic. Thank you. Are there any comments from the board?
I would just, and I want to thank Commissioner Peischel for raising the idea at our budget workshop last month to drop the lease amount down to $1. Certainly anything we can do to help out local farmers, especially the Newhard family. They've been so good to the community for many years. So I just want to thank Chris for bringing that to our attention. That is not something that had crossed my mind when I reviewed the budget packets.
Agreed. Well said.
Well said. I just had a quick question about the bioswale. Where do we stand? Is that finished, or will it be completed before the next farming season?
Yes, we have been meeting with them. They did like the plan. They are happy to see that it's going to stop crops from washing out. We are projected to move in there the first week of December to start it, and we must be done by April 26th. That is the end of our current pollutant reduction plan with DEP for the stormwater. So yes, we are on pace, and we should be done before their next crop goes down.
Okay, great. Thank you, Herb.
Any other questions from the board? Any public comment? We have a motion to adopt said resolution.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 9A, motions. We have a motion to approve final security release for Wrestler Acres, 5344 Chapman's Road, 2026-107. And Tom, if you please present.
Thank you. So the applicant has completed all of the required public infrastructure subject to the security estimate. The last security reduction for this project occurred on November 17th, 2021. So that had reduced the balance to $99,419.18. So in the most recent June 27, 2025 letter, the Township Engineer's Office has noted that punch list items contained in the maintenance inspection meeting minutes were completed, and therefore, assuming that there are no outstanding or financial legal issues, they noted that they had to, that we could close out the project and release the remaining security. So you'll note there was a little bit of a time delay.
So there was a couple legal issues that had to be worked out, which have been now resolved. I just want everyone to be aware. Normally I don't sit on things for 6 months, but, or almost 6 months, but that's why it needed to be worked out first.
Very good, thank you. Is there any comment from the board? Public comment? We have a motion to approve said motion.
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 9B, a motion to award bid number 2025-07 with regard to the 41st Street Water Tank Replacement Project to Barasso Excavating Incorporated in the amount of $219,576. And I'll ask Director of Operations Herb Bender to present.
Thank you. South Whitehall Township staff respectfully recommends awarding the bid for the 41st Street Water Tank Replacement Project to Barasso Excavating Inc. in the amount of $219,576. This project involves the replacement of the existing chlorine contact tank with new snake piping to ensure continued compliance with Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection standards. The Public Works Department has reviewed the bids, received and determined that Barasso Excavating Inc. is a qualified and acceptable contractor for this project. Barasso has also successfully completed 2 previous projects for the township, both of which were performed with high quality and professionalism. Township staff respectfully requests the board's permission to award the bid to Barasso Excavating Inc. This was requested and approved in the 2025 capital budget for $150,000. We also received an LSA grant for $22,578. So you do see that this one is a little bit over the budgeted price, but with all the other projects that have come out of this general ledger line, this line will still remain $200,000 under budget.
Excellent, Herb. Thank you. Thank you for working within the budget confines. Are there any comments from the board on this agenda item?
Yeah, I have a comment. Must we bring a licensed plumber in this?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Plumber? You have to bring a licensed plumber?
They are certified, yes, and we will have an inspector out there from the Township utility engineer firm also inspecting all the work.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 9C, we have a motion granting permission to void purchase order number 2025-0113 in the amount of $247,341 to Whitmoyer Chevrolet and approve the purchase of one 2025 Chevrolet Tahoe from Bonner Chevrolet in the amount of $56,875 with upfitting costs of $24,818.60 for a total of $81,693.60 and two 2026 Chevrolet Tahoes in the amount of $58,936 with upfitting costs of $30,399.85 from Chapman Chevrolet for a total of $178,671.70. Chief Lombardo, if you'd please present.
Good evening, Commissioners. So the Police Department is in the process of fleet upgrades and are requesting authorization to purchase 3 new vehicles in accordance with our current fleet plan. 2 will be used to replace current frontline vehicles and 1 will replace a command vehicle. This is necessary due to aging fleet concerns that need to be replaced and taken out of service due to excessive mileage and safety concerns. 2 current vehicles will stay in the fleet and be reassigned to the community relations sections for school resource officers, and 1 will replace a CID vehicle. 2 vehicles will be decommissioned and then sent to municipal bid. While these purchases were previously approved for 2025 capital, in the middle of the purchase process, Whitmoyer Chevrolet went out of business. We have since located 1 2025 Chevy Tahoe at Bonner Chevrolet and 2 2026 Chevy Tahoes at Chapman Chevrolet. The lowest marked vehicle CoStar's price for the 2025 Chevy Tahoe is $56,875 with an upfitting cost of $24,818.60 for a total cost of $81,693.60. The lowest marked vehicle CoStar's price for each of the 2026 Tahoes is $58,936 with an upfitting cost of $30,399.85 for a total of $178,671.70. The overall total for the three vehicles is $260,365.30. The total of these three vehicles exceeds the original purchase order by $12,674.30, but that will be covered by an upfitter credit. Additionally, two vehicles decommissioned will be tentatively be sold on municipal bid. So the action the police department is respectfully requesting is to grant permission to void purchase order number 2025-0113 in the amount of $247,341 to Whitmore Chevrolet, and approve the purchase of one 2025 Chevy Tahoe from Bonner Chevrolet in the amount of $56,875 with upfitting costs of $24,818.60 for a total of $81,693.60, and two 2026 Chevy Tahoes in the amount of $58,936 with upfitting costs of $30,399.85 from Chapin Chevrolet for a total of $178,671.70.
Thank you, Chief. The board have any comments or questions?
So you're buying 3 new vehicles, but you're only decommissioning 2. So you're expanding the fleet by 1?
No, one is going to be going to municipal bid, and a spare vehicle has now been absorbed for the additional lieutenant into the supervisor rank. So we were able to do that without expanding the fleet.
So if you're absorbing one of the cars that you're getting rid of, but you're buying 3, that means you're only getting rid of 2.
Correct. One will be.
You're still expanding the fleet by 1.
No, we will be. One will be replacing one of our commercial criminal investigation division cars, CID, and to upgrade one of them because it's a 2014 or 2018. So we're just
The
moving it.
third vehicle going.
It'll be 2 in patrol and 1 to command.
No. You're bringing 3 in. You're not. You said you're not expanding the fleet.
No, sir.
So 2 are going to municipal bid. Where's the third going?
To CID. It's going to replace one of them.
And where's that third vehicle going?
To municipal bid also.
It doesn't say that.
Eventually. I don't know when it'll go at this moment, but it's going to be going there. We're not expanding the fleet at all, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it fair to state that you can't get rid of them at this point until they actually come in?
Correct.
So that's why he can't.
Of course he can't. Yeah,
Right.
I get it,
Right.
but
Yeah, that's why they're not all going out right now.
Yeah, correct.
right, but he said, it says right here, only 2 vehicles will be going, but you're bringing 3 in.
Right now, we can decommission the 2, and then when we do the other one, it'll go to municipal bid also. There's no expansion of the fleet here. Matter of fact, we've reduced it by 2 so far, and I'll continue on that path.
Thank you.
Good. Any other comments? Any public comment? Do we have a motion to approve said motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Agenda item 9D, we have a motion granting approval of the use of special fire police in accordance with Title 35 for the Lights and Greenwalds event to be held from November 15th, 2025 through December 21st, 2025 at the location of 2040 Greenwalds Avenue, Allentown, 18104. Tom, if you present.
Thank you. So Title 35 requires that anytime special fire police are used in a way that's not for an emergency, we have to, the governing body has to approve the use of said special fire police. So for Lights and Greenwalds, the event is held from November 15th through December 21st. So I'd seek a motion to approve the use of fire police in that manner for that event.
Very good. Thank you, Tom. Questions from the board? Is there any public comment? Do I have a motion to approve said motion?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Correspondence and information. Tom, if you'd please review upcoming meetings.
Thank you. So upcoming meetings and events with everything posted on the website is tomorrow night, November 20th, 7 p.m. We have a zoning hearing board meeting. Monday, November 24th, 6 p.m. is the Landscape and Shade Tree Commission. Monday, November 24th, 7 p.m. is also the Environmental Advisory Council. Thursday, November 27th and the 28th, the offices are closed for the Thanksgiving holiday. Monday, December 1st, 7 p.m. is the Public Safety Commission, and Wednesday, December 3rd, 7 p.m. is a Board of Commissioners meeting. And the tree lighting is that Saturday at Covered Bridge Park. The 6th, yes, the 6th, yeah.
Thank you, Tom. We have no direction and discussion. Agenda item 12 is courtesy of the floor. Is there anyone present or online with a public comment on any non-agenda items? Anyone in the audience? Anyone online? Very good. Agenda item 13, I need a motion to authorize payment of invoices and disbursements. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have no exec session to schedule. I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.